Yesterday we discussed about how you can able to create a infrastructure using something called as infrastructure as a code, right? Is this? Yeah. So using something called as infrastructure as a code, how you can able to create a infrastructure using something called as Terraform, right? This is the one of the tool infrastructure as a code tool using which you can able to create a infrastructure, correct? So we discussed about how we can able to create infrastructure using console, imperative method, and a declarative method. But what is the advantage of using declarative method or infrastructure as a code? The advantage of these methods is you can able to track the history. That is the first advantage. You can able to track the history. You can able to, you don't need to create a lot of documents. You can able to whatever the infrastructure you get it as an immutable infrastructure, all these advantages. And what do you mean by a declarative approach? That is the same what you need, you just need to mention it in one of the file, and how to do it will be taken care by your automation. Who will take care? Your Terraform will take care. You just need to tell to Terraform, see, Terraform, I want to create a EC2 machine. I want to create a VPC. Okay, in one of the file. How to do it? It will be taken care by your Terraform. So this is what we discussed yesterday. So now let me tell you how this Terraform works first. So if you understand how Terraform works, it's very easy for you to go through it. Okay. See, the same story, what I did for Git and GitHub, I'll keep repeating for 4 to 5 times today, but with some additions every time. First time I'll tell you a story. I'll I'll inform you basic things. Second time I'll add some other content to the same story. Just like that, I'll keep doing it. Okay. So now let's start the story first. How Terraform works. How Terraform works, or what is the Terraform architecture. Okay. When somebody asks you in the interviews how Terraform works or architecture, you must say this thing, but not the first thing, the end one. Fifth time I repeat, right? That you need to say. But now you need to understand this. See, first, what you need to do in one of the machine, just take one EC2 machine. Just take one EC2 machine and install something called as Terraform core here. Just take one EC2 machine. This is my EC2 machine. And inside this EC2 machine, what I'm going to do, I'm going to install Terraform core into this machine. I'm just installing Terraform. Once Terraform is installed, what is the next step you need to do? You just need to create a file. Okay. What is this file? This file consists of whatever the things that you wanted to create. I wanted to create a EC2 machine. I wanted to create a VPC. I wanted to create a S3 bucket. These details I'm going to create or write inside this file using something called as HCL language that will learn using something called as HashiCorp language. Okay. Once the file is ready, what I'll do, I'll give this file. See, once the file is ready, what I'll do, I'll just give this file to your Terraform code. Okay. First, top right corner, first install Terraform core, then prepare a file. Okay. Whatever the things that you wanted to create, that you need to write inside this file. Okay. And for this, what we'll call it as a desired state. Please remember this word, desired state. Desired state in the sense, whatever the things that you wanted to create, that is your desired state. Okay. So now just install, create a file. In that file, mention your desired state using HCL language or HCL syntax. Okay. Once the file is ready, you give this file to the Terraform core. Now, what Terraform core will do is, first thing, it will read this file. First thing, it will read this file. Once it is done with reading, read and understand the desired state. Now, once the Terraform core will read this your file and it will understand the desired state, what you want it to create. Once that is done, what it will do, it will connect to your particular cloud service provider, in this case AWS. It will connect to using the credentials that you are given, using whatever the credentials, access key and secret key you are given. Using these credentials, it will connect to AWS cloud and it will create whatever your desired state is. Okay, this is kind of a basic architecture or how Terraform core will work. See, let's take an EC2 machine. First, in that machine, install the Terraform core. Once the Terraform core is installed, next, what is the thing? You need to start writing this file. Okay, in this file, you need to add whatever the infrastructure that you wanted to create. That we call it as the desired state of a user using HCL language or HCL syntax. Once that is done, you give this file to the Terraform core. Once the file is given to the Terraform core, what it will do? First, it will read and it will understand what is the desired state of the user. Once that is done, it will connect to your particular service provider, AWS, Azure, or GCP, or any other thing in that matter, using the credentials that you are provided, and it will create that infrastructure. Okay, you are not going to create this infrastructure on behalf of you. Who is going to create? Your Terraform is going to create. Okay, you are just going to mention your things into your file. You are not going to create. Your Terraform is going to be created. Fine. So this is the basic architecture of how your Terraform works. Please tell me if you have any doubts here. Okay. I hope everybody is clear with this. Let me go to the next part. See, first what we need to do here. What is the first step? First, you need to create one EC2 machine. And in this machine, you need to install Terraform core into this machine. This is the first thing you need to do, right? So let us do that first. First, create a EC2 machine and let us install a Terraform core into EC2. Now let's create one machine. I'll call it as Terraform server, right? Just come down, select any of the operating system. Just come down, keep it as US. Okay. Network, edit, VPC01, public subnet, enable. Then just come down and launch instance. Let it create for a second. Just wait for a second. right? Your Terraform is created. Now, wait for a second. Let it come back. It's just into initializing state. Just give me a second. I'm stopping sharing my screen. 1 minute. Okay. Now let us connect it to this machine. Public IP. Copy. Come back. Open Git bash here. Just connect. SSH -i us.pem ubuntu patch IP. Yes. Okay. Now we have successfully connected to this machine. What is the next step I will need to do here, sir? Next step here is I need to install. First, we have created a EC2 machine. Now I need to install a first. See, we have created a EC2 machine. This is my EC2 machine. It is now I logged in. Now inside this EC2 machine, I need to install Terraform core here. This is what I need to do. That is what I'm doing here. Okay. Now let me show you how to install Terraform core. Just come to Google. Just search for Terraform Ubuntu install. Right? Just search for Terraform Ubuntu install. Just go to that. Do you have any specification? This is not the one. Install Terraform. Just come down. Here you can able to see Linux installation. And here just need to select Ubuntu. Okay. What you just need to do is copy paste one command at the 3 times. There are 3 commands here. Just copy first command. What is this? Okay. Just copy the first command. Copy. Execute it. First, please remember, always switch to sudo user whenever you are working with the Terraform. Please remember this, otherwise some features will not work. Okay, always switch to root user. Fine. So now just install this. Oh, sorry. Copy, paste, done. It has downloaded. Now let's execute the second command. Go, copy, paste. Okay, just execute the third command. Let's start installing. Just wait for a second. Okay, now a Terraform is installed. How to confirm whether the Terraform is installed or not? Just run Terraform, T-R-R-A, Terraform -version. See, your Terraform is installed. The other way of checking is Terraform -help. Okay, help Terraform. FORM. See, if you're getting this output, then your Terraform is successfully installed. Okay, now we have successfully installed Terraform into this machine. I'll just share this, just follow, copy paste the commands. Before copy pasting, switch to the sudo user first. Fine. Now our Terraform core is ready. Once the Terraform core is ready, what is the next step you need to do, sir? You need to start writing your file, correct? If you already see the infrastructure or how Terraform works, your Terraform core is ready, right? Your Terraform core is already installed. Next thing is you need to start writing this file in a HCL language. This is what you need to do now, correct? So, well, before we start writing this, I just wanted to tell you two more things here. See, whenever you write any file in Terraform, which language you're going to use? You're going to use something called as HashiCorp language. This is just a syntax, the standard syntax. This is not a programming language. This is just the standard syntax that you can copy paste from the Google or you can write it for yourself. It is very simple. Okay, which language you're going to use? You're going to use something called as HashiCorp language. The second point here is whenever you create any these kind of files, okay, these files always ends with names, always ends with .tf. Okay, this is the extension of any file. The first file that we are going to create is main.tf. Okay, this is the file extension for all of the files in your Terraform. That is the second thing. Just these two things first. Now, see, we need to create this file. Okay. Just a second. We need to create this file now. Now, in this file consists of what is the desired state, right? I already explained you. This file consists of desired state. That is how many EC2 instances you want, what is the VPC you wanted to create, what is the IAM role you wanted to create, what is the S3 bucket you wanted to create. This is your desired state. This is the infrastructure that you wanted to create, right? Now, this file, just observe carefully, there are two components here. Inside this file, there are two components. First component is something called as provider block. Provider block. Okay, this file is divided into two components, first part and second part. What is the first part? First part is a provider or block. File is actually divided into blocks. The first block is provider block. What is the use of this provider block? Right? Why we are using? See, now I wanted to create an infrastructure, but where I wanted to create the infrastructure? Can you tell me, sir? Please, anyone? Where you're creating this infrastructure? See, if you see in this EC2 machine, yes, from AWS, I wanted to create my infrastructure in AWS, right? Now, see, while just see, whenever you create the infrastructure in AWS, what are the things that you will keep in mind? What is the region that I wanted to create this infrastructure? What is the username and password I need to use while logging in? Correct. And apart from region, what are the resources you wanted to create, right? And in which cloud service provider you're working in AWS. All these details, your basic details, you will keep in mind, correct? See, provider block is similar to that. What is this provider block? Provider block will help you to connect to your AWS. This is where your this is give me a second, sir. How to remove this? Okay, no worries. Right? See, this is where your AWS cloud is there. I think there is some lag, sir. Don't mind. Not that much. I don't know why. This is where your AWS is. This is where you created EC2 machine, right? Inside AWS, that is fine. But you need to install, you need to create a infrastructure inside AWS using Terraform, correct? Now, if Terraform wants to communicate with AWS, right? If Terraform wants to log into AWS for creating your infrastructure or EC2 machine, then before creating that infrastructure, what it needs to do, it needs to provide, it needs to use a credentials. What is your username? What is your password? What is your access key or secret key? These things it has to use, and it has to log into this AWS account first before creating the infrastructure, right? So all these things in which cloud, first remember, in provider block, what are the things that will mention? What is the cloud you wanted to? What is the cloud you wanted to connect? That is the first detail. Then, while connecting, what is the access key it has to use? Third detail, what is the secret key it has to use? Fourth detail, in which region you wanted to create this infrastructure. All these details will keep under your provider block. Okay. Now, please tell me, what do you mean by provider block? See, provider block is a block using which we can able to tell Terraform that what is the cloud service provider we wanted to connect using the credentials provided. That is the basic thing that you can use this provider block. Using provider block, you can tell to Terraform that what is the cloud you wanted to connect, what is the access key and secret key you wanted to use while connecting to that particular service provider, and in which region you wanted to create your infrastructure. These basic details you will place under which section? You'll place under something called as provider block. Clear? So in this file, what you will have now, the first block here is your provider block. So why you are using this provider block? You are telling to the Terraform that, see, you connect to AWS provider, that is AWS, Azure, anything. You connect to the this particular service provider. While connecting, use this access key and secret key, and while creating the infrastructure, create the infrastructure in this region. These details you will mention. Clear? So this is the use of provider. This, and the main point here you need to remember is you can have only one provider block per file. For each file, you can have only one provider block. That is the second thing you need to remember. Okay. So let us go to the next block. Same file. First, we had a provider block. What it does, we already know. The second thing here is we have something called as resource block. Okay, provider block, to which service provider you wanted to connect, what is the access key, what is the secret key, that is what are the credentials it has to use, and what is the region you wanted to create this infrastructure. All those details are already placed in the provider. Now, once you connected to this AWS, right, what you wanted to create, I wanted to create a EC2 machine. I wanted to create a S3 bucket. I wanted to create a VPC. Okay. So here EC2 is a one resource. S3 is a one resource. VPC is a one resource. Okay. In resource block, what you're going to mention? You are going to mention your desired state. Whatever the infrastructure that you wanted to create, those details you will keep it under where? You'll keep it under resource block. Okay. And provider block, you can have only one provider block, but resource block, you can have as many resource blocks you want. One resource block for EC2 machine, one resource block for S3, one resource block for VPC. You can have as many resource block you want. Okay, these are the two basic things are present inside this file. First one is provider block, second one is resource block. Provider block, what will do, what it does, you already know. Resource block, what you are going to write here, you're going to write your desired state using HCL language. Okay, so these are the things that you need to remember. Any questions here, sir, before we start writing that file? Okay. Now, recorded is given, sir. No need to worry. This entire week, I'll provide the recording. We can go through that. Okay. So now we'll start writing. So before we start writing Terraform file, what you just need to do is come to your Terraform, go to IAM. See, you need access key and secret key, right? For console access. For AWS CLI, if you remember, if you wanted to create a S3 bucket, if you want to create EC2 machine in AWS CLI, we discussed, right? What do you need? You need access key and secret key. Same thing you need here also. Okay. So how to generate access key? There are two methods. One is create a IAM user, and to that user, you create a access key and secret key. The second way is you have a root user, and to that root user, you can generate access key and secret key. But for root user, just go to your account here, come down, security credentials you can able to see here, right? Just click on security credentials. Just come down, and here you can able to see create access key and secret key. Oh, it is already there. Let me delete, deactivate, and 72. Just a second, please. See, here you can able to create access key and secret key. You just click on this, create access key and secret key, it is getting created. But this is not a best practice. This is not at all recommended. Why? Because once you create this access key and secret key for the root user, see who is root user? Root user is having unlimited privileges. If somebody gets this access key and secret key here, they can do whatever the things they wanted to do here in your root account. Okay, so that is the reason it is not recommended to create a access key and secret key using your root user. Okay, just if you are created, that is fine. Just come back and delete this. First deactivate, Then just copy paste this, copy and paste. So what is the best way then? Just create a IAM user first. Just go to IAM service. Just come down. You already know. Just click on user, create user, provide Terraform user. I'll call it as a Terraform user. Just click on next. Attach policies directly. I'll attach EC2 full access I want. I wanted to create a EC2 machine here. EC2 full access, this one. I want S3 full access. I'll be creating these resources in the upcoming days, right? So now only I'm allocating the policies here. S3 full access. And what are the other things I want? VPC full access I want. Next, what is the other thing? Maybe IAM full access I want. Okay. So as of now, these three things or four things are enough for me. Just click on next. Just come down and create user. Now user has been created. Once the user has been created, just click on to that user. Just click on Terraform user here, right? Just come down. So here, just go to security credentials, this tab. Just go to this, come down and create access keys. Okay, just click on create access key. Select anything that you want. I want third-party service and just I understand. Next, just click on create access key. It is created. Once it is created, come down and download this file. Download file. Okay, this has been downloaded. Now here is my access key and secret key. First do this. Now we'll start writing our what is this file main.tf file. Okay, so first what you just need to do, sir, you start writing provider, which is the provider you wanted to connect. You need to connect to the AWS service provider, right? What is the next thing you need to mention? In which region you wanted to work, those details. I wanted to work in, what is the region? Let me see this region first. North Virginia. What is the code here? US-East-1. Okay, just mention that within double quotes. US-East-1. This is my region, right? And next, what is the access key I need to use while connecting to this AWS? Access key is equal to, just copy paste your access key. Where is this? This is my access key, right? Just Control A, Control C, just come back and copy here. Okay. Next, what is the secret key I need to use? SECRE, secret -key. While connecting, this is my secret key. Use this credential. Control A, Control C, just come back, paste it here. Now, my provider block is ready. So in my provider block, what are the things I'm mentioning? What is the service provider Terraform has to connect? In which region it has to create the infrastructure, and while connecting, what are the credentials it has to use? Those details I'm mentioning here. Okay. Now this is done. What is the next step? Next step is I wanted to create a EC2 machine now. So what do you need to create? You need to create a resource block. Resource and AWS-instance. This is a keyword, mandatory keyword you need to use, and you can provide any name you want. Web, or I'll provide something called as ABC or something. First ABC, first or something like that. See, provider block, I guess everybody understood. Okay. Now what you need to do? You need to create your EC2 instance. Fine. See, now I am creating a EC2 machine. So where you need to create inside a resource block. Inside resource block, while creating EC2 machine, this keyword you need to use. This is mandatory one given by the Terraform. From where you can get these keywords, I'll show you in some time. Okay, this is the keyword, and whatever the name you wanted to provide, just provide that name, then open the curly braces. And while creating EC2 instance, what are the things you required? You required Amazon machine image, AMI. You need to mention the same here. Just write it as a AMI and mention the AMI ID. From where you can get this AMI ID? Just come here, click on launch instance. Just select whatever the machine that you wanted to create. Just select this. Copy this AMI ID. Copy and paste. Fine. This is my AMI. And what is my instance type? Same thing, sir. Whatever you are doing here, first select the AMI. I am selecting a AMI. First provide the name. I provided the name. Second provide the or select the operating system. I selected using this AMI ID. Next, what I want what is the instance type, correct? I want instance type is equal to, what is the instance type? T2.micro. I want to create this instance, right? As of now, just this is enough as of now. Now my file is created. My first file is created. Okay. To this file, I think I did not close these things properly. Did I close it? First, open, close here. Yeah, it is done. Now, once the file is ready, sir, any doubt here? From anyone? Even if it is a basic doubt, please let me know. Okay. Your file is consisting of two blocks. First block is provider block. Second block is resource block. In provider block, we are mentioning all the details which are required to connect to the AWS account. Second, whatever the resource, what is your desired state, those details we are mentioning here. Okay. So once that is done, see this file, what we'll call it as a main.tf. Okay. This is the file name you need to save. Just copy this, copy, come back to your server. This is my server, right? Here, first, what I'll do, first, it is always a best practice, create one directory, mkdir Terraform, any name. Just go inside that directory. Okay. Now here, start creating your file, vi main.tf. Enter, insert, and copy paste the same thing here. Okay, just save this. Now your file is saved with the whatever the content that we have created. Okay, so now next thing, your first step is completed, installing Terraform core in EC2 machine. Second step is completed, creating a file known as main.tf, which consists of all your desired state, right? Next, what is the next step? You need to provide this file to your Terraform core. Correct? This is the next step. Okay. So if you wanted to provide this file, your main.tf file, to this Terraform core, what do you need to execute? We have some commands here. Terraform commands. Very easy commands. you need to make use of these commands, and you need to provide this file to the Terraform core. Let us discuss these commands first. Okay. So what is the first command we have here? The first command we have here is let me do. Okay. First, let us complete this. The first command here is Terraform init. Let me write down Terraform init. Terraform initialization. This is the meaning of init. What this init will do? See, if your Terraform machine wants to connect to your AWS, then you have provided whatever the credentials, access key, secret key, all these things you have provided inside this file. That is fine. But if it has to connect to your AWS, then it needs some internal plugins. Okay. Using these plugins, your Terraform has to connect to your AWS account. Let me repeat. See, you have already provided your username and password. Fine. For connecting to AWS. But internally, your Terraform needs some plugins. Okay. It needs some plugins. So these plugins, if Terraform wants to download, then you need to execute a command known as Terraform init. What does Terraform init will do? It will download the plugins required in order to connect to a particular service provider. This is the meaning of Terraform init. Let me repeat what it will do. It will just download the plugins required in order to connect to the particular service provider. If I'm providing in my provider block, if I'm providing AWS, what are the plugins it will download? It will download all the AWS plugins. If I in my provider block, if I'm providing Azure, then it will download all the plugins required for Azure. And this you need to do it for the first time. That's it. You're not going to do this for again and again. Only for the first time you need to do this. Okay. This is the first command. First one is Terraform init. The second command is Terraform validate. What it will do? See, you have a file. In this file, if there are any syntactical errors, if there are any syntax errors, it will just check for those syntactical errors. That's it. Apart from that, it does nothing. Okay. So Terraform validate is used to check the syntactical errors in the file. Fine. So the next command here is Terraform plan. Just let me delete this. Terraform plan. See, now have created this file, right? And I've executed Terraform in it. It has downloaded all the plugins required. Terraform validate. What it does, if there are any errors in my file, it will display. Then what I'll do, then I'll start executing Terraform plan. What it will do is, it will read this file. It will read this file and it will show you what are the resources which are going to be created, what are the resources which are going to be deleted, and what are the resources which are going to be modified. But when it will display, before creating the actual resources. Let me repeat, it might be confusing for you. It will read this file. After reading this file, what it will show you? It will not create the infrastructure. It will just show you what is the infrastructure that Terraform is going to create? What is the infrastructure that it is going to be deleted? What is the infrastructure that is going to be modified? This details it is going to display. Okay, just to give you a simple thing, what it does, before applying what file is capable of doing, it will display. I'll show you, don't worry. Okay, before making the actual changes, it will show you what are the things that it is going to be created. Fine. The next command here is last one, Terraform apply. Once you click on Terraform apply, what it will go, your Terraform will connect to your AWS account and it will start creating your whatever the desired status there. Fine. So these are the commands which are required in order to work with your EC2 machine. Fine. So now let me just take this machine. See, just to repeat with some advance, again, I'm coming back to your architecture diagram. Okay. Now we have successfully installed your EC2 machine. Inside EC2 machine, we have installed Terraform core. Now we already created our desired state file, main.tf file, right? This file is written in HCL language. Now, once the file is ready, what do you need to do? You need to give it to the Terraform core. So if you wanted to give this file to the Terraform core, then what it does, you need to provide using some commands, Terraform init, validate, plan, apply. Using these commands, you will give this file to the Terraform core. Once the file is given to the Terraform core, what it does, first it will try to understand what is our desired state. First, it will read and understand the desired state of my requirement. Once that is done, then it will connect to your AWS service provider and it will create that infrastructure. Okay, this is what it is doing now. So let us do this practically. Now, I think you have a basic knowledge, right? Just come back. Your file is already created, main.tf. First, what I need to do, I need to install Terraform, execute the command known as Terraform from FORM, Terraform init. Just click on enter. See, it is downloading the initializing provider plugins, whatever the things required to connect to your AWS, those things it is downloading. How to see whether it is downloaded or not? It is a hidden file, just ls-lrt. Here you can able to see a hidden file known as .terraform. If you just go inside this, you can able to see all those things. Okay, if you are interested, just go and check there. Terraform init is done. What is the next thing? Terraform validate. What this command will do, it will just check whether if there are any errors in your file, your main.tf file. Just wait for a second. See, success, the configuration is valid. There are no errors in your file. Next is Terraform plan. See, please observe carefully here. FORM. Now, please observe. Just wait. See, it is clearly showing you. It will just, whenever you execute this Terraform plan command, what it will do, first it will read your file. After reading your file, it will not create the infrastructure. Please remember, Terraform plan will not create the infrastructure. It will just show you, it will just read the configuration file or main.tf file, and it will show you what is the infrastructure which is getting created, what is the infrastructure which is getting deleted, or what is the infrastructure which is getting modified. It will just give you an idea. We also call this as a dry run. What is dry run? Before making the actual changes, before creating actual infrastructure in the AWS, it will just show you, see, bro, this is the infrastructure you are going to create. Just a dummy kind of thing, it will show you. This is what you are creating in the infrastructure. Done. So that is the use of Terraform plan. Dry run. Okay. Next, what is the next command? Is Terraform apply. APPLY. Just click on enter. You see the magic now. Wait for a second. And meanwhile, if you see here, there are no EC2 instances. We have, see, reload. Seven, six. MFA code. Just a second. It logged out. Double 3 1 7 5. Authentication field. That's 3 1 7 5. Huh? Why? One second, please. Okay. See, there are no other machines here. If you just come back, if I press S here, just confirm. See, it has started creating automatically EC2 machine. Now there is nothing here. Just wait for a second. Let it complete its work. See, apply complete. One resource has been added. Now just come back and refresh. See, can you able to see this? It has successfully created a EC2 machine. Okay, this is how you can create a AWS EC2 instances. Fine. Now, any doubts here before I move to the next thing? Okay. So let me come back to the architecture again. Give me a EC2 instance, install Terraform core into this machine, prepare a file, including your desired state, whatever the things that you wanted to create. Here you mention all these things. You give this file to Terraform core using whatever the commands we discussed, right? Terraform init, plan, validate, apply, all these commands. Once it is done, your Terraform will read this file and try to understand what is your desired state. Once the desired state is understood, then it will create all the infrastructure, whatever the desired infrastructure you mentioned, it will go and create in your AWS account. This is what you know, right? Once after creating AWS infrastructure, it will not stop there. Your Terraform will not stop whatever the infrastructure it will create. Okay, let me go back and sleep. No. What it will do, your Terraform, once the infrastructure is created, once the EC2 or anything is created, it will collect all the information related to this resource, whichever it has created. Whatever the resource it has created. Just now it has created something called as EC2 machine, right? So it will collect all the information related to this EC2 instance and store it under a file known as state file. This is kind of a file where all the information related to your infrastructure has been stored or tracked by the Terraform. Okay, where you can able to see this, you just come here, just execute ls, and you can able to see Terraform tf.state file. Right? This is the file where when this file gets created, please tell me, does it gets created after executing plan? It will not get created after executing your plan command. When this file gets created after performing apply operation. After apply, your Terraform will create this infrastructure. Once the infrastructure is created, then it will create this state file with all that information. Clear? Guys, any doubts here? Okay. So now just see this. If I just execute another command known as Terraform show. Okay. And whatever the infrastructure it has just created here, this is the one EC2 instance we just created, right? See now, if you just go into whatever the details you can see here, right? The same details you can be able to see here using Terraform show command. Terraform show. Wait for a second. See all the details, whatever the details it has, right? Regarding whatever the EC2 instance it has just created, all these details you can able to see using a command known as Terraform show. But from where this Terraform show is getting this information? This information is getting from this state file. Your Terraform already copied all the details, all the information related to the infrastructure it is created. And all those information is under this file. Whenever I execute Terraform show, from where it will get that information? From this file. Okay, this is the one thing. And once this is done, last command you need to know is if you wanted to delete a EC2 instance, then the last command is Terraform destroy. Okay, Terraform destroy is used to delete the entire infrastructure that you created. Just click on enter. Just wait for a second. Just say yes. It is destroying. Please wait. Just wait. Okay, destroy complete. Resource one is destroy. If you just come back and refresh here, see, it has been successfully terminated. That is, it is deleted. Without any manual intervention, we have created an infrastructure. You can able to track that infrastructure. You can able to delete that infrastructure. Okay, so this is how your Terraform will work. Fine. Any doubts here from anyone? Sir, if I have multiple .tf files in folder, how can I specify a particular one? See, that will see, sir. Just first learn the basic things that I'll show you. You'll not be having multiple things. You'll one folder, multiple files for particular EC2 instance or particular resource. That I'll show you. Don't worry. Okay. First learn the basic things. Then we'll discuss that also. No worries. Okay. So can I'll one last thought here. See what I just wanted to do. First, what you need to do, you need to install Terraform. Correct. Once the Terraform is installed, write a file with what are the things you need to include. You need to include provider block and a resource block. These are the two things that you need to include. Okay. Next, what is the next thing? Give it to Terraform core. This is the next thing, right? How will you give this? Using Terraform init, Terraform validate, Terraform plan, Terraform apply. Then other commands are Terraform show, Terraform destroy. These are the commands you need to use, right? Then what your Terraform will do, will read the main.tf file, right? While reading what it will does, it understand the desired state, correct? This is what it will do. Then it will connect to the AWS provider using access key and secret key. It will connect to AWS. What it will do then, it will start creating the infra, right? It will start creating the infrastructure. Once the infrastructure is created, what is the next thing it will do? It will collect all the information, related to that infrastructure, whatever it has created, and store it under a file known as state file. Okay, so it will store all the things there. So why you will use this state file? In upcoming classes, we'll discuss this file in detail. But as of now, this is the file where it is tracking history of the infrastructure. Whatever the infrastructure it has created, it is tracking that details using this state file. Okay. Now, do we have a time? Yes, we have a time. This is what we discussed. Now, let me come back. Now, what I'll do, I'll apply Terraform plan. For the second time, I'm just doing this. Okay, let me do this. No worries. Terraform, validate, same file. Terraform, F-O-R-M. Terraform validate. Just to see if there are any syntactical errors. There are no syntactical errors. Terraform plan. So every time I'll do this mistake. Sorry. Wait. Terraform plan. Just wait. So it is going to create one EC2 instance, then Terraform apply. Let it create an infrastructure, one EC2 instance. Yes. I just wanted to show you one more thing here. That is the reason. Okay. So let us see whether it has created or not. Just wait. See, has created another EC2 instance now. Okay. Now, what I'll do, again, I'll work on Terraform. Again, I'll execute Terraform plan. Let's see what happens. Now, based on your understanding, it has to create a EC2 machine, correct? But what it is telling you, no changes. Your infrastructure matches the configuration, right? That means I told you, right? Your Terraform core will always track the history using state file. For the first time, let me for the first time, we have created a file. We have given it to Terraform core. It has read it and it has created the infrastructure. And finally, it has created a state file. So using this state file, it is tracking, Terraform is tracking the status of this infrastructure. Now, what I'm doing for the second time, the same file I'm executing, correct? The same file I'm executing. No changes to this file using the same commands I executed. So I told you it will read and understands the desired state, right? It read and understood the desired state. And before creating the actual infrastructure, what it does is it compares your desired state with your already existing infrastructure using your state file. Clear? First, it will compare your desired state, whatever the infrastructure that you want, with the existing infrastructure details stored under state file. It will compare. First, let me infrastructure that you want. It will compare with infrastructure which is already present in the state file. If there are no changes required, then it will not create the infrastructure. If there are some infrastructure changes, then it will create the infrastructure. That is what it is doing. In this case, what happened? In this case, did we made any changes to this configuration file? No changes. So the same details are already available inside your state file. So this is the infrastructure that I want, and this is the infrastructure already exists. So is there any difference? There is no difference. Both are equal. So that is why it is telling you no config, no changes. Your infrastructure matches the configuration. Okay, this is the first case. The second case, what I wanted to show you here is now what I'll do, whatever the infrastructure I want, vi main.tf, this is my file. What I'll do, I'll just add some new line here. Just give me a second. I'll add one more line here known as tags. What is this tags? You don't have a name here, correct? To this machine. I'm just creating a name to this machine using Terraform. That is what I'm doing. Simple thing. Tags is equal to curly braces. Then inside that name, see here, the N must be capital. Okay. Name, name is equal to, I'll call it as a dummy server or something like that. Dummy server. Okay. Just close this and now save this configuration file. Now what I've done, how this is my existing configuration file. To the same file, I just did some modification here, added some content here, and whatever the content I already created, all those infrastructure details are stored under my state file. Now, whenever I perform plan and apply, what your Terraform will do, it will compare your configuration details or desired state with the already existing information, already existing infrastructure. If there are any changes, then it will create. If there are no changes, it will show you like this. This you know. Now, there are some changes I did, correct? So let me execute this. Let me execute Terraform plan. See, now see the magic here. Terraform plan. See, it is not creating the EC2 instance. What it is doing, it is just changing the name. If you see here, plus symbol is nothing but it is modifying. It is just creating this. What it is creating, it is not creating a EC2 instance. It is just adding a name to that EC2 instance. That is it. Okay. Now Terraform apply, Terraform apply hyphen auto approve app. Instead of you providing yes, after that it will create. Oh, why Terra, every time this is the mistake. Terraform, Terraform hyphen apply hyphen auto approve. Just wait for a second. Sir, if you're confused why I'm using auto approve here, whenever you apply Terraform apply, it is ask you to type yes, right? Now it will not ask you. Okay, just come back, and if you refresh, see the same name is added to your EC2 instance. Fine. So the final Terraform architecture is, last one more time. This is what you should mention in your interviews. See, let us take a EC2 instance. Inside that, install a Terraform core. Then once that is done, start preparing your uh, configuration file or main.tf file using HCL language, right? Just mention whatever the desired state you want. Then give this file to Terraform core using the whatever the commands we learned. Terraform plan, apply, show, destroy, all those things. Once it has given, what it will do, it will read this file. While read and understand the desired state of you. After understanding what it does now, it compares your desired infrastructure with the existing infrastructure. If there is any existing infrastructure, first it will compare. If there are no changes required, then it will tell you no changes required. If there are any changes, then it will go and create that infrastructure, right? So let me erase this. This you need to add into your answers. Read and understand. Once this is done, read and understand the desired state. Once that is done, compare with the existing infrastructure. If there are no changes, if both the infrastructure is same, then there are no changes. If there are some changes, then it will connect to that AWS cloud service provider. It will create that infrastructure. Once the infrastructure is created, then what it will do, it will collect all those information and it will store under something called as a state file. So this is the file using which is tracking the history of the infrastructure. Clear? So this is the complete Terraform architecture now. Please let me know if you have any questions here. This is very important, sir. If you understand this entire flow, it's very easy. Next classes. Okay. Maybe you might be learning this for the first time. No worries. Just go back, watch this video again, and you will come to know everything related to Terraform. First class and second class. Relate these two classes. Whatever the theory I told you, right? All these things. Okay. So this is how you can able to create the infrastructure. Let me delete this. Terraform destroy for Terraform. Okay. So it is deleting that infrastructure. Now just write yes. If you don't want it to write this yes, what do you just need to provide? Hyphen auto hyphen approve. It will automatically take that, right? It is still destroying. Please wait. Mm, mm, mm. It's taking some extra time. Why? Okay. Now it has been deleted. You just do ls. You can able to see there are two state files here. Okay. The current existing state file is the one and the previous state file is the other one, backup state file. Okay. For the current, like for the first time I've created, this is my existing infrastructure. The last previous infrastructure that I had, right? That is this file. Okay. Now, as of now, please remember it is storing only history of two executions. But in future, we'll see how to store it for multiple executions as well. Okay. So that is it from my end for today. Please go back and study well. See, if you are just missing one class, you'll not understand the next class. If you're not completing it, you will not get it. That is for sure. Just go back and read everything that I discussed yesterday and today. These are the basic things. If you're not doing, I can't help you. Okay. Just go back and do this. And yeah, that's it from my end. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.